going to the next shloka of Soundarya Lahari. The theme for this is Jvara and Visha Shantihi. So we've seen how sadhana of the goddess helps us take charge of the desires within, all the senses and the faculties that we have. Now going further in the 20th shloka, the Siddhi, the theme of this is how somebody who does the sadhana and masters the Siddhi of this shloka can impact other life around as well. Not just have everything in control, but other human beings, other such afflicted people around. So not just work for themselves and liberate themselves within, but also help in the liberation of other creatures around, other pranis around. The way it is conveyed is very simple. The very worldly usage of it, the Siddhi just says Visha Nivritti, and many commentaries also just limit their explanations there, that if somebody is bitten by poisonous reptiles or insects like scorpions or snakes, somebody who has this kind of mastery can cure their afflictions, can reduce their pain, take that out, which is seen in the world to some extent. But even here, so there are some commentaries which go deeper into the metaphorical aspects of how the Visha there is the Visha of the Vishaya. It is not that it is the literal Visha, the venom of a scorpion or a snake, but it's the Visha, it is the poison of the objects of the senses which have now occluded, which have now blocked our senses from functioning clearly. Is that clear? Some commentaries just say this much, that this is one of those shlokas which is used to heal people and to cure them from afflictions, which is fine, which is a very material way of looking at things, not going into the metaphorical aspects of every single word, but using it at a very worldly realm, which is the Siddhi is Visha Nivritti. Sadhana is for 45 days facing east and doing a chant of 2000 times and offering a Naivedya of Bhasma. So this clearly has that tantric ritual where this shloka is chanted with and doing a homa, and there are again ingredients that go into the homa, how to make that, prepare that, and how to apply that bhasma to the person who has been afflicted by these venomous insects or reptiles. I don't think it is too relevant in the modern times doing these kinds of practices and rituals to cure the sick and the afflicted who are physically afflicted by poisonous insect bites. But the other interpretation holds true, which is to look at the Visha as not just some insect bite. This is the yantra that corresponds to the shloka. We'll look at the shloka itself now. You can repeat this after me. Kiranti mangebhyah. It is a mixture of two words. Kirantim angebhyah. Kiranti mangebhyah. Kirana nikurumbamrita rasam. There are some texts where it is not nikurumba, but it is nikuramba. It's a typo. You have to fix it there. Nikuramba doesn't make sense. It is nikurumba amrita rasam. Kirana nikurumba amrita rasam. Hridi tvam adhatte himakara shila murtimiva. The component words are himakara shila murtim iva. It becomes himakara shila murtimiva. Yaha sa sarpanam darpam shamayati shakuntadhipa. Shakunta adhipa becomes shakuntadhipa iva. Jvara plushtan drishtya. Once again, this here is not dri, not drishti, it is not drushti. It is the r is a vowel in itself. So dr, drishtya, sukhayati, sudhadhara siraya. Perfect. Sudhadhara siraya. The three words, Sudhadhara Siraya. Wonderful. Line by line now. Kiranti mangebhyah kirana nikurumbamrita rasam hriditva madhatte himakara shila murtimiva yah sa sarpanam darpam shamayati shakuntadhipa iva jvara plushtan drishtya sukhayati sudhadhara siraya. The tuneful rendition of this shloka goes like this. Kiranti mangebhyah kirana nikurumbamrita amritarasam hridi tvamadhatte himakara shilamurtimiva yah sasarpanan darpam shamayati shakuntadhipahiva jvara plushtan drushtya sukhayati sudhadharasiraya. So, to understand the meaning of this shloka, we'll look at layer-wise arrangement of the words in this shloka. Once again, three key ideas being present here. Yah hridi tvam adhatte. Adhatte is one who places firmly within, one who establishes you in the heart, hridi. Such a person, sa shamayati. Sham, the word sham is the same root sound for shanti, the one who subdues, pacifies, sa shamayati. And sukhayati, the one, such a person also causes pleasantness, causes sukha. Sukha is a blissful state of being in a good space. Sukha, literally. So what, how does somebody cause that pleasantness? What does one subdue and how does one pacify? How is such a person meditating and what is he placing upon, and how is he placing her in his heart, as described in the other words that support these ideas. Yah, the one who, hridi, in the heart, tvam, you, adhatte, firmly establishes. How does such a person establish her? Himakara shila murtim iva. Iva is like, in the form of. Shila murti is an idol or a statue. Statue made of what? Of Himakara. Himakara is moon. Himakara Shila Murti is an idol made of the moon rocks, of this such white, pleasant, cooling form of her. In such a form, how else is that form? Kirantim angebhyaha. Angebhyaha means from the angas, from the limbs. Kiranti is emanating, to radiate. What is she radiating from her limbs? Kirana Nikurumba Amrita Rasam. Amrita Rasam is English fails with these kinds of words. Very loosely translated as immortal nectar, and Nikurumba is clusters and Kirana are rays. So the one who establishes her in the heart in the form which seems to be made of a slice of moon himself in such a white form, radiating that white glow in clusters, in clumps, with that cool rays emanating from her limbs, which are like the essence of Amrita, of immortal nectar itself. Somebody who worships you thus, saha, such a person, shamayati, pacifies or subdues or brings down. What does he bring down? Sarpanam darpam. Darpa literally means pride. Here, Sarpanam darpam is the pride of the serpents, which is there. What is the pride of the serpent? It has its venom, that is its power, that is its pride. He pacifies them, subdues them. How does he subdue them? Sarpanam darpam shamayati, shakuntadhipa iva shamayati. Shakunta is a bird. Shakuntala is she, because she was raised by birds, they say. But Shakunta is birds, and Adhipa is a king. The king of birds, which is an eagle. So, like an eagle, he brings down, he puts down the pride of serpents, which is its venom. Here, some people leave it there, the interpretation, and say it is at the worldly realm that he draws poison out from wounds that have been afflicted. Some commentaries go deeper, which makes more abstract sense, that sarpas or the vishayas, the visha sarpas, the visha of the sarpa is again the poisoning of the hormones, as they call it, the poisoning of the sense organs, which always keep going behind the senses. Such a person who has already taken care of that within oneself and worships you in this form now becomes capable of quelling those, putting those the snake-like serpents down in other people as well. Shamayati, he causes that subduance of, if that is a word, of those sarpas, those snake-like desires, and which are engulfing, eating them up and moving them downward along the spine and in their life, in the growth of life, like an eagle which lifts up, which flies up. He causes upliftment of other people by putting down the serpents that bring them down. And also, he causes pleasantness, sukhayati. He causes pleasantness to whom? Jvara plushtan. Those who are jvara is literally fever. Once again, this can be just seen as the physical affliction fever or the feverish pursuit of sensory pleasures. Jvara plushtan sukhayati. How does he do that? Drishtya, by just his gaze. Drishti. How is such a person's gaze? Sudha dhara siraya. Sira is medicine, dhara is flow, sudha is nectar again. By his gaze, which is like a medicinal flow of nectar, such a person brings down the feverish pursuit of feverish, endless restlessness, restless pursuit of desires and other sensory satisfactions which are endless in somebody else. This is the word by word meaning of this shloka. Once if we look at all the words together, yaha hridi tvamadhatte himakara shilamurtimiva kirana nikurumba amrita rasam kirantim angebhyah sa sarpanam darpam shamayati shakuntadhipa iva shamayati sukhayati sudhadhara siraya drishtya sukhayati. Think this. Now you have a rough understanding of every word. Now when you read this shloka again, hopefully all these word by word meanings stay in the mind. When kirantim angebhyah kirana nikurumbamrita rasam hriditvam adhatte himakara shilamurtimiva yah sa sarpanam darpam shamayati shakuntadhipaiva jvara plushtan drishtya sukhayati sudadhara siraya. When it is conveyed in a poetic meter like this, the words are a little jumbled around. But when we have this Anvaya Krama that has already been made in layer-wise arrangement and we know which word corresponds to what meaning, when we read it, that whole essence of the shloka can be taken in at once. Even though we are understanding it in English, I'd really urge you guys to, just have this visualization and not go by the words themselves, but by the imagery, which is something like this. Like worshipping her in the form which seems to be made out of moon rock itself, in a pure white form which seems to be emanating clusters of nectar like white rays. Somebody who worships her like that uplifts those who are afflicted by the feverish pursuit of desires and puts those desires down and causes pleasantness in such people outside also.